Welcome back to KMMA. I'm Andy O.
I'm Khalil Deal.
And we're going to be bringing you our predictions and breakdowns for the main card of UFC Nashville, which is coming up on this Saturday. So we're going to be starting off with Junior Tafa against Tuco Tokos. Then we got Vitor Petrino against Austin Lane, followed by Nate Landwehr against Morgan Charrier. Then it's Calvin Guitar against Steve Garcia. In the co-main event, we have Stephen Thompson against Gabriel Bonfim. And main eventing, we have Derek Lewis against Taliesin Teixeira. So real deal. Opening up, we got another Tafa.
Oh, yeah, you and your Tafa. Yeah.
Can't trust the Tafa, though.
All right, man. So for this one here, man, me and Andy O, we were talking a bit before we recorded this video there. He was asking me if, I got any dogs or anything. Well, this is my dog of the week. This is my dog of the week here, man. I'm going with George Tokos, a.k.a. Tuco Tokos in this one, man.
No way.
Yeah, man. I got to do it, man. Tuco Tokos, man. This guy's a professional mixed martial artist with a fighting style that's rooted in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Veil Tudo. He is a Daniel Gracie black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which a lot of people don't know that. And he's known for his strong grappling abilities. While his wrestling is decent, it's not as refined as his grappling. He is considered a submission threat, though, in his fights. He also trains with squads of middleweight fighters at Kill Cliff FC, including guys like Brendan Allen, Gregory Robocop Rodriguez, Gerald Mearshart, and Sang. So this guy is a guy who can grapple. He's a guy that's got good jiu-jitsu. He's a guy that can also wrestle a bit. And we all know that most of the Tafas are fish out of water on the ground. They've got no ground game. They absolutely suck on the ground. Now, Junior Tafa, of course, he's got that knockout power. We see it here. He's got 6 knockouts in his 6 wins. But if you remember the fight with Navajo Sterling against Tuco Tokos, Navajo Sterling was landing some crazy punches on him, man, and he was taking those punches, and he was very, very durable. So Tuco Tokos is very durable. He's pretty strong, I can see him getting a takedown on Junior Tafa. He's going to have a 4-inch reach advantage and a 1-inch height advantage. So it's not going to be as easy for Junior Tafa to land those powerful, crazy punches on the Tuco Tokos. And if we got to be kind of honest here about Junior Tafa. If we look at his last 5 fights, man, he lost a unanimous decision to Muhammad Usman. Okay. He got a win over Parker Porter by knockout, who's not that great, Parker Porter. He lost to Marcos Rogelio.
I'm out there think Parker Porter is one of the best.
So he got knocked out by Marcos Rogerio de Lima. He also got submitted by Walter Walker with that heel hook. And then just recently got a knockout win over Sean Sharaf, who's also, I don't even think he's still in the UFC. So, he hasn't really beaten anybody really great. Parker Porter and Sean Sharaf, I mean, that's nothing. And, I just really think that Junior Tafa, if he's a one-trick pony, he has to get that knockout punch. If he doesn't get it, he's fucked. I think George Tokos, with his grappling abilities and his submissions, will take him down, get him on the ground, and get a win by either a ground and pound knockout or a submission. Give me the dog here. Give me Tuco Tokos by knockout or submission.
Yeah, this, man, what a couple bums, I gotta tell you. I don't think Tokos is going to get Junior Tafa down in time. I think Tafa is going to do enough damage somehow to win a decision, but I see Tuco, based on his toughness, like coming on stronger later in the fight. Because you remember, was it his last fight where Junior Tafa basically gave up, slouched against the fence? He was like crouching on his knees with his back to the fence and looked like he wasn't even getting up at all anymore. And it was just a poor look, but
Well, that was against Walter Walker. What happened was Walter Walker got him down and got him in that heel hook, and then Junior Tafa went and he screamed, and then the ref called it a submission, like a verbal submission, because he was.
no, and maybe, but I think no. Just at one point, something just stuck out where I think maybe he wanted the round to be finished or something like that. Anyway, it was just a bad look for me, but I think he still has enough to put away Junior Tokos with some decent takedown defense at least at the beginning of the fight. And if he has to take the last round off, hopefully he'll have done enough damage before then. So give me Junior Tafa by decision or knockout.
Man, I'm shocked. I know you don't really don't go for Tafas, man. I was pretty
Oh,
shocked
well,
that you went for a Tafa here. All right, well,
I'm not proud of it. I
our
think these guys should have like a candy bar named after them, like Tafas. That's what they should become.
Tafa Taffy here. All right, so we're in disagreement with the first fight of the main card. But yeah, when it comes to the betting, of course, we'll take a look at the line, see what the Tafa by knockout is worth. Maybe Tafa first round knockout, see what that's worth. But yeah, I think George Tokos here, Tuko Tokos can get the win for me personally by his grappling and jiu-jitsu.
He
All
just
right.
hasn't taken any. He just didn't do that to anyone though,
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
except like Pure Can. So we'll see. Tafa may be a Pure Can.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, his takedown defense isn't great, and he's a fish out of water on the ground there.
I think his takedown defense is better than Tokos' takedowns though. At least at the beginning of the fight. I don't know. We'll see.
All right, so we're in disagreement with this one. Let's move on up to the next fight here. We got Vitor Petrino against Austin Lane.
Okay, here I'm gonna take Vito Petrino here coming back after two losses where he lost to two guys who are just craftier than him, right? You got like crafty Anthony Smith pulling like the final win out of his career out of the bag in like a real veteran savvy play, snatching on
Yeah, that was a big mistake by Vitor Petrino in that fight against Anthony Smith, where he
Petrino.
left his head open there for that guillotine sub for Anthony Smith to
But at
get.
the same time, it was a smart enough defensive and oriented kind of like presence of mind play by Anthony Smith to get that on Petrino. Petrino being the idiot by leaving his head dangling there early in the fight like that. And he got like outclassed by Dustin Jacoby in his last fight here. But I don't think Austin Lane is capable of outcrafting Vitor Petrino because Austin Lane to me is not a real fighter. He's more like one of these athlete type guys. I think he was a former football player to a certain degree, and he just leaves himself wide open at times. He's not really a takedown guy, although he has surprised some people with his takedowns. Do you consider him a takedown guy?
Uh, he does have some grappling.
He has some kind of background in it, but I don't think it's like up on the list in his game plan against most people. And I think he leaves himself just wide open for so many bad things to happen to him during his fights. So I think I'm looking for Vitor Petrino here for a nice bounce back win because this is a lower level of competition for him, even compared to those two last guys. So give me Petrino here by knockout or sub.
Yeah, and I think that Austin Lane is stepping down in weight, is it? Or is it Vitor going up? No, yeah, it's Vitor going up in weight to fight heavyweight. That's right. So Vitor is going up in weight there because you can see the big weight difference here. Austin Lane at 250 pounds and Vitor at 205 pounds. So I think Vitor is stepping up in weight for this one here. But yeah,
I don't know if Austin Lane can make a lower weight, but
yeah, he probably wouldn't. So yeah, I'm gonna go with. I agree with you, Vitor Petrino. Man, this is a guy who's got a background in Sanda and Chinese boxing. He's also trained in Taekwondo and Capoeira from a young age. His fighting style in the UFC is basically rooted in these disciplines with a focus on striking and developing his grappling game. Petrino's background in Sanda and Chinese boxing. It shows that he's got a strong striking base with potential for powerful kicks and punches. While his striking is a good aspect of his fighting, but he's also been focusing on his grappling skills. He is a very good jiu-jitsu specialist here. He does have a good submission game, a good ground game. He likes to take his opponents down, control them on the ground, and use ground and pound or use his jiu-jitsu skills. Austin Lane, like you said, he's a former NFL football player. He utilizes a boxing-based striking style, and basically he was training in boxing to develop his basically just to develop his game in football at the time. That's why he started training in boxing. But then he left football and became an MMA fighter and focused more on his punching. He's got powerful punches and combinations with his boxing background, but he is primarily known for his striking. He does have some grappling and takedowns. He definitely can wrestle a little bit, but that's not his strong suit. So I can see Vitor Petrino really dominating on the ground, getting Austin Lane on his back. We've seen Austin Lane really do bad on his back. The guy's been knocked out 6 times out of his 6 losses. So his chin is suspect there. He got knocked out by Mario Pinto with a right hook in his last fight. He also got knocked out by Jonathan Deniz and also by Justin Taffa, we just talked about. So I'm going to go for Vitor Petrino to get the win here by knockout or decision. You can see he has 7 knockouts out of his 11 wins, so I think he could clip Austin Lane with ground and pound there. And a possible submission as well is possible, but I'll call knockout or decision win for Vitor Petrino in this one here. So we are in agreement with this fight here. Let's move on up to the next fight. We got Nate the Train against Morgan Charrier.
Nate the Train, man. All right, so we have Nate the Train coming back here. And Nate the Train, you know, he was one of my favorite guys. But I'm gonna have a little hot take here. I think Nate the Train, since he had his kid, may have lost something when it came to fighting. His last fight there against Du Hoi Cho, as a Nate Landwehr fan, especially that 3rd round, where, and even prior to that actually, he was just on the ground with Du Ho Choi on top of him, and he couldn't get out, and he couldn't get up. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It was like, he was trying, but he just couldn't do it, and it was the most frustrating thing as a guy that had a little coin on Landwehr, of course, and just as a fan in general. And I think Morgan Charrier, while those losses, you know, we look at it, they do come from somewhere, but he's been looking really good in the UFC to me. He's a precise striker. He seems he got that label kind of about being a guy that's not aggressive enough when he has to be, and that's why he lost like so many decisions. But he appears to be like half decent now. Like against Chepe Mariscal, he put up a real tough fight against him. He lost a split decision to him, but Chepe Mariscal, he's a type of fighter that will always bring out the dog in you, and you saw a bit of that in Morgan Charrier in that fight, I think. He beat Nathaniel Wood in his last fight, which isn't the craziest of things, but he pretty much dominated him in that fight. So
he lost to Nathaniel Wood.
Shit, that's right. I picked Nathaniel Wood to beat him. That's right. But it was still like one of those really good grinding fight by Nathaniel Wood. Look, I can see Nate Landwehr surprising Morgan Charrier with just some balls to the wall aggression here. But I didn't like what I saw from Landwehr in the clinch against Choi, which was one of his strengths before. And just his helplessness from the last time. I don't know, I think the old Nate Landwehr would have found a way to get up. And even though Charrier lost his fight last time against Nathaniel Wood, who I predicted, I think Charrier is going to come back here and beat Nate Landwehr because Nate Landwehr has turned a new leaf, I think. I don't think he's that crazy sumbitch anymore. So, and he's getting a little up there, not to mention. Well, what about you, Real Deal? Give me a Morgan Charrier by knockout or decision.
Yeah, Nate Landwehr, man. We love Nate the Train, man.
I love Nate the Train, though.
Always been a fan of this guy, man, and was looking for a way to pick him here.
Me too.
But, you know, he's 37 years old. Charrier is 29 years old. Nate the Train, like you said, man, that brutal knockout loss there where he was getting elbowed while he was on the ground from.
Yeah, while he just couldn't get up after a while, it just ended up getting elbowed
Yeah,
out.
he was getting elbowed over and over from Crucifix there, and then and he also lost to Dan Ige by unanimous decision a couple fights before that. He did end up knocking out Jamal Emmers though in the fight before Doo Ho Choi. Yeah, Nate Landwehr, his fighting style, he's a killer be killed type of fighter. He's exciting to watch. He goes in all out brawls. Like he doesn't rely on the judges. He wants to go out there and finish you. He's known for his aggressive come forward approach. He engages in intense exchanges where he aims to just overwhelm his opponents and uses striking from a distance. He prefers to get in close and unleash a barrage of strikes, and he likes to wrestle and grapple as well. So he's very well rounded. Morgan Charriere's fighting style, it's a blend of French boxing, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and luta livre. He's known for his striking.
It's probably a bit of that French boredom.
Yeah, he likes to use his punches like jabs, hooks, and uppercuts. He's also very effective with counters and combinations. He's got a strong takedown defense. He isn't afraid to grapple. He's got a solid foundation in Brazilian jiu-jitsu and luta livre, so the guy can wrestle very well. He uses like a European striking style, which is like a lot of jabs, hooks, and uppercuts, along with counters and combinations, as I mentioned. And like I said, his jiu-jitsu skills are pretty good. He's got solid takedown defense, and he's also able to get takedowns himself. I have a feeling that this fight is going to end up on the ground at some point, and I think Charriere is going to be able to dominate on the ground like Doo Ho Choi did, get him on the ground, use that ground and pound, or maybe latch in a submission. I'm going to say that Morgan Charriere gets the finish in this one. I think he's going to knock out Nate Landwehr or win a submission here. So give me Morgan Charriere by knockout or submission. I really wanted to pick Nate to the Train, but I just think he's too old and on the downhill too much here in this one. I think this is a bounce back fight here for Charriere after he lost in Nathaniel.
Yeah, I don't think he's happy about that last fight.
And his other fights were close as hell, like against Chippy Mariscal, that split decision. I think he actually won that one. I thought. It was very close. Anyways, so we're in agreement with this fight here. Let's move on up to the next fight here. We got Calvin Kattar against Steve Garcia. Now, for this one here, man, this is going to be a banger of a fight. I really have a feeling that this is going to be. It could be fight of the night. I don't think this fight goes to decision. Somebody's going to fucking knock somebody out. But I can't get behind a guy who's lost 4 fights in a row in Calvin Kattar. The guy has lost to Josh Emmett by split decision. Then he lost to Arnold Allen. He got knocked out, but it was a knee injury. He lost to Aljamain Sterling by unanimous decision. And then just recently lost to Yusuf Zalal by unanimous decision. So he's on a 4-fight losing skid here. He's 37 years old. We got Steve Garcia, who's going to be the taller fighter. He's going to have a 1-inch reach advantage, a height advantage. And he's on a 5-fight winning streak, Steve Garcia. So the complete opposite of Kattar here. Garcia beating the likes of Chase Hooper, who's really, really good. We've seen how good Chase Hooper is, and Garcia was able to knock him out.
That's when Chase Cooper wasn't that good.
Yeah, he got better, of course, since then. Now, Steve Garcia also knocked out Shayilan Nurdimbeke. He knocked out Melquizael Costa. We see how good Melquizael Costa is. He's been winning a lot, Melquizael Costa. We've been picking him to win, and Garcia knocked him out. He also knocked out Sung Woo Choi, and in his last fight, knocked out Kyle Nelson, who's a tough motherfucker too. So I got to go with Steve Garcia, man. He's just on the up and up. He's on the rise, 5-fight winning streak. He's looking good. He's knocking everybody the fuck out. We've seen Calvin Kattar get knocked out before against Arnold. It was against Arnold Allen there.
I don't think he ever got knocked out.
Yeah, he did, but it was a knee injury. You're right.
That's not. Yeah.
It wasn't an actual knockout punch. But he's lost 7 decisions. Give me Steve Garcia to win by knockout or decision here, man. I just think he's too much for Calvin Kattar. And I think Calvin Kattar, he's on the downhill slope here, man. 4 losses in a row, man. He's not looking good like before, and he's getting up there in age. Give me the younger Steve Garcia by knockout or decision.
I may agree with you, but there's one thing. This is going to be a stand-up battle 100%. No trouble for Calvin Kattar when it comes to, not being able to get up. And Calvin Kattar, man, when you most count him out, he somehow finds a way to get it done, I find, or at least he had to. On top of that, Steve Garcia, these are just my takes here. Steve Garcia, in 3 of those fights he had, I don't know if you remember this, but there were clear back of the head shots worthy of disqualification. I think 2 of those guys were actually knocked out by back of the head shots by this guy. Wu Choi was one of them. I would love to have it up so I can just point them out. And who else got knocked out in the back of the head? And this is not counting just back of the head shots. The refs just allow this guy to get away with for some reason. Some guys they don't like. Some guys, he can do whatever he wants. So there's a lot of guys who wanted to knock out Calvin Kattar, especially like Steve Garcia, who's been getting a lot of his knockouts earlier in the fight. But everyone who thought they would be able to do that to Calvin Kattar has failed. So I don't think Steve Garcia is going to be able to get Calvin Kattar out of there and knock him out right away. Calvin Kattar is super durable. There's no threat of the takedown here by any guy. We're going to have a stand-up war. This is going to be an exciting fight if you like that. And I think Calvin Kattar is just going to have some great counters for Steve Garcia, especially when the fight goes longer, because Steve Garcia is not going to have the same pop on his shots. And Calvin Kattar doesn't really turn his head too badly, so I think he can minimize the back of the head shots unless he gets unlucky. And so give me Calvin Kattar by a decision 80% or knockout 20%.
All right, man. So we are in disagreement with this fight here. So let's move on up now to the next fight coming up.
We got Stephen Wonderboy Thompson
against Gabriel Bonfim.
Yeah. So you got here.
All right. So for this one here, man, we have to start, and we talk about this a lot, man, when you start noticing guys going on the downhill, man. Stephen Thompson, man, I don't know if he's just fighting for a paycheck here, what he's doing. He's 42 years old. 42 years old.
And on top of that, he insisted on grapplers not too long ago.
It's unbelievable, man. Gabriel Bonfim is 27 years old, okay? We're talking a fucking 15-year difference here, man. Okay? It's absolutely insane here. Not to mention that Wonderboy, when I talk about him going downhill, man, he's lost 4 of his last 5 fights, man. Not 4 in a row like Kattar, but he lost to Gilbert Burns by unanimous decision, who's a very similar fighter to Gabriel Bonfim, both training in Brazil, both very good at jiu-jitsu and grappling. Bilal Muhammad beat him by unanimous decision. He got the win over Kevin Holland, but we know Kevin Holland is a fart, and he's the type of guy that'll lose to a guy like Wonderboy Thompson because
he played on the stool.
Yeah, he was talking and shit during the fight, and he was being an idiot. Then he got submitted by Shavkat Rakhmonov. And also got knocked out badly by Joaquin Buckley. Remember that crazy knockout that Buckley?
Yeah.
So the guy's coming off of some brutal fucking knockouts, man. Getting finished and stuff. On the downhill, super old. I gotta go with Gabriel Bonfim. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, all he has is striking. He has no grappling game. You never see him wrestle. When he gets taken down on the ground, he is not looking good. We saw that happen when Gilbert Burns took him down.
His get-up game is not as good.
Not as good. Shavkat Rakhmonov just kept using his relentless chain wrestling, taking down Wonderboy. He couldn't get up. And also Bilal Muhammad did that to him too. Gabriel Bonfim, we know that this guy is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu specialist. The guy specializes in submissions. We can see here he has 13 submissions out of his 17 wins. And he's known for a strong ground game, his ability to finish fights with submissions, particularly chokes like the Bravo choke, also arm triangle chokes and rear naked chokes. He's also good in striking, but his grappling prowess is a key aspect of his fighting style, which I think he's going to use to his advantage here against Wonderboy, who sucks on the ground. Give me Gabriel Bonfim to win by knockout or submission. This fight is not going to go to the distance, and I think it's either a ground and pound knockout victory for Bonfim or he gets a sub here.
Yeah, Stephen Thompson used to be a hard guy to sub, and he still is because he knew how to stay out of trouble on that end. But yeah, I really thought Stephen Thompson was gonna just be facing strikers, like maybe up and comers, but strikers, to make for better fights. I think Gabriel Bonfim is gonna take him down. If he does, I think he's gonna be fishing for that sub, and there's a good chance Wonder Boy gets subbed for the second time here. But it's still hard to say. I'm going to call sub or decision. Give me a 50-50 call on the sub or decision for Gabriel Bonfim here.
Nice. So we're in agreement with this fight here. All right. So let's move on up to the main event of the evening. If you guys haven't already, hit that like button. If you're new, subscribe up. We got Derek Lewis against Taliesin Teixeira here.
All right, the Black Beast makes his return. Here's another guy who was complaining about 5-round fights and said he didn't want them anymore. This is a 5-rounder, right?
It is, yeah.
Like they wouldn't just make it a 3-rounder for him on a fight night, I guess. Yeah. What can you really say about Derek Lewis at this point, except that maybe those wins that come out of nowhere are going to start coming more far and few between? I didn't think he reached 40 yet, but here we go. He's 40 now, and he's always had back issues. So I don't know how I don't know how those back issues have been recently. Like in his past couple of fights, I think he looked like he shed some of that weight, and he looked in kind of better shape.
He was in very good shape the last time, yeah.
But I think that had more to do with his back issues than actually wanting to get in a better shape per se. Because if you have back problems and you're carrying a lot of upper body weight, sometimes it's a good idea to try and lose some of that just to ease the pain on your back there, But at the same time, yeah, it's going to be, you could say it's going to be the best competition Taliesin Teixeira has faced, but he looks pretty good there. He beat Justin Tafa the last time out. With strikes, didn't take him very long. He looks lethal out there. He has decent enough movement, but we got to see him against a good guy. But is Derek Lewis really one of those upper level guys anymore? He's going to be a lot taller than Derek Lewis, Teixeira. I think he has better kicks than him. So I think it would be a good idea to stay at range and just avoid those bursts that sometimes are hard to predict. I don't know if he's going to go for any takedowns with Derek Lewis, but if there is a takedown of some kind, we know that Derek Lewis is going to power out of the first two, that's for sure. Look, this is a no confidence pick, I guess. Maybe a little confident. I'm going to go with Taliesin Teixeira to get it done by knockout or decision. We got another 15-year age difference in this one, but it is heavyweight, right? So it's not that prominent here. But still.
Yeah, man. I love Derek Lewis, man. I've been a big fan. If you guys have been following the channel, I love Derek Lewis, man. He's one of another fighter that I find very exciting to watch. One of my favorite fighters, too. Another one of them. I'll never forget that time that Derek Lewis launched that crazy flying knee to Marcos Rogerio de Lima, that flying knee knockout there that he never, ever does. And out of nowhere, he just did it. It was super amazing. And then he began to dance, and he ripped off his pants there. It was pretty, he was in his underwears in the middle of the ring. It was hilarious. But yeah, man, I got to go with Taliesin Teixeira in this one, man. Of course, when you come to the betting there, a little sprinkle on Derek Lewis by knockout, maybe knockout decision. We'll see how much it's worth. But Taliesin Teixeira has got to be the pick, man. This guy's fighting style. He's got powerful striking. He's got a strong ground game. He's known for his knockout power, finishing ability. Most of his wins come by first-round stoppage. He's got a strong background in jiu-jitsu, and we know that Derek Lewis sucks on the ground. Teixeira's striking is a key part of his game, but his jiu-jitsu game is really, really good. His grappling is really, really good. He takes down opponents pretty easily, and he finishes fights quickly. I could see him taking down Derek Lewis and just nailing him with ground and pound or latching in a submission.
Well, if he can keep on taking him down easily, then yeah, it's the way to go,
And you
right?
can see here that he's all of his wins are by finish there. So give me Taliesin Teixeira to win by knockout or submission. I think he finishes Derek Lewis in this one. It's starting to become the decline. Those losses come from somewhere. He's got 12 losses. It's the decline time for Derek Lewis, unfortunately, man. Love the guy, but I got to go with Teixeira.
A knockout king.
So there you have it, folks. Me and Andy O disagreeing on how many? We disagreed on two fights in this one. So we disagreed on two in the prelims and two in the main card out of 12 fights. Not too bad. Yeah, man, like and subscribe, guys. And enjoy. I can't wait till Friday to talk with you guys about our final thoughts and face-offs and our betting video. Peace out, KAMMA.